What if the person everyone laughs at turns out to be the one everyone wishes they could be? Tonight, you'll hear a story about a man who was set up as a joke, a janitor mocked for the dirt on his clothes. But when the truth came out, the entire room froze in silence. Stay with me until the end, because this isn't just about humiliation. It's about dignity, resilience, and a twist no one saw coming. It started with laughter, the cruel kind. In a small company cafeteria, a group of young employees whispered and giggled as they pointed toward the janitor, Arif. He was in his late 40s, his uniform faded, his hands rough from years of scrubbing floors and carrying trash bags. He spoke little, always nodding politely when someone brushed past him, but never truly seen. Among the whispering group was Zara, new to the office, bright and ambitious. She had been convinced by her colleagues to agree to a surprise blind date at the weekend company dinner. What Zara didn't know was that they had chosen Arif, the janitor, as her date. To them, it was hilarious. To her, it would be humiliation. Friday night arrived. The restaurant glittered with lights, laughter, and the subtle air of competition that always hangs in corporate events. Zara dressed with care, nervous but hopeful. She had imagined meeting someone kind, maybe funny, maybe even someone serious about life like she was. But when she saw Arif being guided awkwardly toward her table, holding a bouquet of simple marigolds wrapped in newspaper, her smile collapsed. The room erupted in muffled laughter. Some hid their faces behind wine glasses. Others whispered jokes Zara could almost hear. Her cheeks burned. She looked at Arif. His smile was small, almost apologetic, but his eyes carried a quiet sincerity. He set the flowers down gently, as though afraid to break something fragile. "Good evening, Miss Zara," he said softly. I wasn't sure what flowers people like these days, but I hope you don't mind." Zara's pride twisted inside her. She wanted to disappear. Her colleagues' laughter pressed on her like a weight. She whispered, "This must be a mistake." Arif's face fell, but he nodded. "Of course. I understand." For a moment Zara thought it would end there. He would leave, the joke would be over, and she would be left with embarrassment. But fate had other plans. Just as Arif began to step away, a firm voice echoed through the hall. "Wet." The chatter hushed instantly. At the head of the room stood Mr. Rahman, the company's CEO, a man known for his strictness and rare appearances at casual events. He had been quietly observing everything. And now, he walked toward them. Mr. Rahman stopped beside Arif and looked around the room, his gaze heavy and sharp. The laughter melted into silence, replaced by unease. "I've watched enough tonight," he began. His voice was calm but cut through the air like glass. "Do you all think this is funny? Setting up a man who works harder than most of you as the punchline of your joke?" The employees shifted uncomfortably, eyes darting to the floor. Zara's stomach tightened with shame. Mr. Rahman placed a hand on Arif's shoulder. "Do you know who this man is?" he asked the room. "No, not just his job title. Do you know who he really is?" Silence. "Let me tell you," the CEO continued. "When I first started this company, I had nothing. One night, long before any of you were here, I worked so late I fainted from exhaustion. This man, Arif, found me on the floor. He could have walked away, but instead, he stayed by my side all night until I woke up. He even paid for my medicine out of his own pocket. And he never once asked for anything in return." Gasps rippled across the room. Zara's throat tightened as her eyes flicked to Arif, who stood quietly, head bowed. Mr. Rahman's voice grew firmer. "For years, while you climb your corporate ladders and complain about your workloads, he has been here before all of you arrive, after all of you leave. Keeping this place running. Never late, never bitter, never asking for recognition. And tonight, you humiliate him for sport." No one spoke. The shame in the room was suffocating. Zara swallowed hard, her heart aching. She turned to Arif, her earlier embarrassment, now a sharp regret. She picked up the marigolds he had brought and whispered, "They're beautiful. Thank you, I was wrong." For the first time that night, Arif's lips curved into a genuine smile. Not wide, not boastful, just warm. Mr. Rahman looked around the hall one last time. "Let this be a lesson. Success without respect is failure. And if anyone here still thinks they're better than the man who cleans their floors, you are free to leave this company tonight. No one moved. From that moment on, the laughter stopped. People began to greet Arif respectfully in the halls. Zara, humbled, sought his forgiveness. And slowly, a friendship grew. She learned about his life. A father who worked tirelessly to send his daughter to school. A man who had dreams once but sacrificed them for his family's survival. And one day, years later, when that daughter graduated as a doctor, it was Zara and Mr. Rahman who stood in the crowd, clapping the loudest for Arif. So, what happened that night wasn't just about a cruel joke. It was about how quickly we forget that every human being carries stories, sacrifices, and dignity that no uniform can erase. They set up the janitor as a joke on a blind date. But when the CEO spoke, the room fell silent. And in that silence, a truth rang louder than laughter ever could: respect is the highest form of success.